and sugars.
Yeah, that's right. If caffeine is the next target for food police nationwide, should that give companies like Coke and Pepsi the shakes? Our Fox panel back now to tackle this, and here we go. Peter Schiff, I'll let you start with this one first. What do you think? Here they come telling us that we need warning labels on Coke.
Well, it's like, the last segment. It's another example of the government wasting our money. The free market is already working here. There are plenty of ways to buy decaffeinated coffee. Coke sells caffeine-free Coke. If people don't want caffeine, there's plenty of ways not to have it. The individual consumers can weigh the benefits and the risks of caffeine, and they can make a choice. We don't need the government interfering in that process.
There's another Californian story about sugar, too. They're not only getting into caffeine, they're trying to ban sugar. They've already banned trans fats in restaurants in New York. Where does it end?
Well, it doesn't end. This is my home state of California. But, this is the same story as mortgages. The Fed now is abandoning its role of defending individual rights. Instead, it's dictating what kind of mortgages we can get, what kind we can't, what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat. I'm waiting for the veggie police to go to everybody's home and make sure those kids eat their veggies every day. And if not, maybe the parents should go to jail. The government's job is to protect us all, to feed us, to make sure we get into a nice home, to make sure we can pay off our mortgage. This is what the nanny state has come to. And this is consistent with the budget, and it's consistent with the mortgage story.
Okay, well, Pat Powell, since I just get the sense that you're going to hate this as well, let me try and play devil's advocate. Red Bull, which is may or may not get a warning label at some point. A lot of kids drink that, and
including my daughter.
Okay,
really?
And wouldn't you like to at least maybe see what they're getting into if the government helps out and clarifies in a warning label?
I have no problem with labeling. I have absolutely no problem with labeling caffeine, sugar, salt, putting it on the label, but that's where it ends. And I think all these people that are going crazy with government getting involved basically need to get a life. This is just ridiculous, that they're going to police what you and I eat and what my 18-year-old daughter drinks.
They're
it's
already
just
policing
absurd.
what we eat. What about the trans fat ban in New York? They're already policing what we eat.
Another ridiculous.
Gary Kelbaum, I'm sure you want to get on this. Go ahead.
Look, it's the typical pick and choose by the government, though. Coffee, which is 3 times as much caffeine, hey, that's fine, but Coca-Cola is not fine. Obviously, the coffee lobby has been working overtime. I don't want government telling me what to do. I don't want government telling me what's right or what's wrong. If I want to eat 10 Hostess Twinkies, I want to do it, and they should just stay out of the way. And, they're all right. This nanny state of getting involved in everything is getting to be a little bit too much.
I know I'm not the only one who realized once they started labeling sodium content on some foods that it was pretty horrifying, Gary, how much sodium was in certain products, and you turn it over on the back and say, oh, forget it, I'm not going to buy this. This is horrible for my heart. Isn't there some value in it?
I don't argue that point, but the consumer gets to decide.
Sure.
That's what free markets are all about. The consumer read the label, let the consumer do some investigation. All this info's on the web. Let the consumer decide what's good for them and what they want to eat.
Let's ask the Ayn Rand libertarian here. You're on. What about labeling? Do you have any problem with the government insisting that at least there be fair disclosure as to what's in the product that you're ingesting?
Well, absolutely. I don't think the government has any role in dictating
even labeling
any of this
you're
stuff.
Against?
Even labeling I'm against. Let the market sort this out. If consumers really want labels, they shouldn't buy products that don't have labels and provide the manufacturers an incentive.
Okay, Peter?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I'm not against labeling as long as it's not the government mandating it. Let the free market. If consumers want to know what's in products, then refuse to buy products that don't have labels, and you're going to get labels.
I don't want to eat mystery food.
No,
Then don't eat it. Nobody forces you to eat mystery food. Every time you go into a restaurant, you don't know. There's no labeling on restaurant food, but you still go in and you eat it. And if you don't, stay home and eat food you grow yourself.
Well, McDonald's labels.
McDonald's labels, absolutely.
That's helpful, I think.
But the Food and Drug Administration, Peter, the FDA, all of those organizations that are put out there to protect at least the food that we eat, don't you think there's some benefit to having that?
I think the government is doing far more harm than good with these products. I think it creates a false sense of security among the public. I think probably food is less safe because the government is involved in it than if they would stay out of it.
You know what? You guys and your libertarian talk has boosted the market now to triple digits. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up over 100.
102 points.